The holidays are usually times where we get together with family and friends, and gatherings of any size, but particularly of the size we typically have around the holidays, pose a threat with regard to the transmission of the virus.
I don't think anybody anticipated at the beginning of the pandemic that this is where we would be 10 months later. So I think there is a sense of trepidation, a sense of grief and loss.
We're seeing increased challenges to mental health, which would benefit from togetherness and is exacerbated by isolation.
But also hopefully a mindset of thinking about it as potentially an opportunity as well. I like to think about it as, what would you do if you were in a long distance relationship? You wouldn't just rely on the phone. You would send letters and cards and gifts and maybe drop off a plate of food at somebody's house. So thinking about creative, more analog ways that we can connect as well, I think is going to be critically important for both families and for individuals that are maybe alone, is again to look at this not as something being taken away, but as an opportunity to try new things, to create new dishes that honor your family, to create new rituals about how you honor yourself or what you really care about. What we've seen since the beginning of the pandemic has been an increase in suicidal ideation, and the groups that seem most vulnerable appear to be younger adults. But rates of completed suicide have not increased compared to previous years.
The most powerful way of supporting someone is enabling them to feel heard. It's just reaching out. It's feeling acknowledged. It's feeling that they matter.
We know that when people get depressed, they start to withdraw from others.
So if you have a weekly phone call with a close friend and they miss it a couple of weeks in a row, or if you stop getting text messages or emails, those are signs that something might be awry, and it's worthwhile to reach out.
If you start to withdraw, what sorts of steps would you enact in order to start connecting to others? So maybe having one particular person who knows your history, who knows what's going on with you, that you know that you can count on to help kind of pull you back out. And at its most extreme, it's ensuring that you don't have access to lethal means, and that includes firearms. And what we are seeing in some of the most recent research is that those who have been buying firearms most recently have also been reporting increased suicidal ideations.
It's important to recognize that when you do reach out, you can ask directly, how are you feeling? And then you usually have to follow up with that with a, no, really, how are you feeling?
I think what often prevents people from doing it is this fear that they need to fix the problem. And really, that's not often what the other person is looking for. They're looking for an ear to listen to them. They're looking for someone to validate how they're feeling.
Children, especially younger children, don't have the wherewithal to come and say, I'm feeling depressed today. So things that I recommend looking for is, do you see increased irritability? Do you see increased tantrums, especially in those younger kids? When we start talking about adolescence, are they talking about future plans? Are they talking about their friends? Are they talking about what's of interest to them? The number one thing that I advise of all parents is, don't be afraid to approach your children, no matter what age, and don't be afraid to talk about what's going on. But during the holidays, in the context of a pandemic, I think the power of having somebody feel heard, acknowledged, and that they matter, that is everything.